Hi, I'm Ginny Robertson, the founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and the founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm here to share with you a panel discussion today on how to promote yourself with confidence, grace, and ease. So, ladies, welcome. Thank you for agreeing to be on this panel with us today. And I'm going to start by just going around and having each of you say a sentence or two about who you are and what you offer out there. And I guess, and let's add to that, what makes you great at self-promotion? We'll throw that curveball at you. So I'm going to start with you, Kathryn.
Right. So I'm Kathryn Yarborough, and I am a manifesting clients mentor and vibrant speaker coach for women entrepreneurs, in particular, women coaches, healers, and other on-purpose solopreneurs, people who feel called to do what they do. And what makes me great at self-promotion? Oh my goodness. Well, so I'm going to actually step up and think to myself, I am great at self-promotion. So in this moment, I'm giving myself a raise with my number about how good I am. And I'm going to say it's because I've been doing this since 2001. So 22 years I've been practicing stepping up to the front of the room, connecting with people on social media, and speaking about what I do. And the whole time that I've been doing that, I've been learning as I go. I have a philosophy, take action and learn. And that's the only way one of us is going to get better.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for that. Mary, how about you?
Hello, I'm Mary Knippel, the book mentor, helping transformational leaders to become authors so that they can double their impact through the co-author books that I mentor women to write. And that's a great question. How do I identify myself as great at self-promotion? Writing is a solitary endeavor. However, getting to know your story and being visible to have the impact that you are designed to have is something that I talk about all the time, because nobody can tell your story from your perspective except you. So as a mentor, I'm here to help the women craft that transformational story so that they can be visible and make the impact that they're destined to have.
Thank you, Mary. And once somebody writes their story, they have to also know how to go out there and talk about it, right? Which is another step to that self-promotion piece. Thank you for that. Peg, tell us about yourself.
Well, thanks. I'm Peg Duchesne, and I'm a content creator and a message therapist. I massage the words for my clients so they can hit their mark with their marketing. And I have to be able to be confident in my messaging to help my clients achieve that same goal. And just like Kathryn was saying, showing up and doing it is part of what makes us better and better with each step along the way. And just like Mary was saying, writing is an independent activity, but we need to keep in mind who the audience is for whom we're writing. And so it's not just an isolated task. It's sort of we're all in this together. And so showing up and doing the activity makes us better and better with each and every day and time that we do it. So those are my tips for that.
Thanks. You, Peg.
My pleasure.
So I'm going to start back with Kathryn, and I'm going to mix it up a little bit. But Kathryn, it sounds like you're comfortable promoting yourself, but have you always been? And if not, what kind of shift did you have to make to like step up? I know you said showing up was one of them, but how did you get past that first thing that said, I don't even want to show up, right?
Well, okay, so I'm going to say that, yes, I am somewhat comfortable with self-promotion, but even right now, I'm in the midst of doing two things. I've got a Love Your Business Summit that's coming up. I need speakers for, and I've got an Authentically Vibrant 2-day event that's happening next month that I need to tell people about. And even now, 21 years later, I still come up against a wall often about, okay, Why aren't more people responding right away with my emails and my first tier of stuff? I've got to do more. And so one of the things that's helped me and is helping me today even is to come back and remember what's in it for them. Because when it's all about me and I'm thinking, I want to fill it up right away so it's easier for me, or I want to do this event because I want to see what will happen, or I want to do this thing because I'll make more money or build my list or whatever. It's all about me. If it's all about me, I'm not very good at putting myself out there and not very good at promoting. So that mind shift, that reminding myself, what is it for them, helps me to be more willing to show up and reach out, to do another email, to show up at an event like this, to tell people about it.
I love that. And I also think, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I also think that if we're in that mindset of it's all about me when we write our emails or talk about it, it's going to show in the energy, maybe possibly, of what we're sending out there, right? If we're not like really, oh God, I'm so excited for everybody to see this because some people are just going to resonate. It's going to resonate with people and they're going to get such value when they show up, rather than, oh God, I hope somebody comes, because that's kind of sucky energy. Even if we're not saying it out loud to them, it's kind of, and it doesn't make us our authentically vibrant selves when we're, we don't just need to be authentically vibrant when we're sitting out there with people. When we're alone in our room, we need to be as authentically vibrant as well. So thank you for that, Kathryn. Peg, I'm going to go to you on that question as well.
So similar to what Kathryn was saying about the radio station WIIFM, what's in it for me, what's in it for them. My great mentor and friend, Bob Berg, who's co-author of The Go-Giver, said, nobody's going to buy from you just because you have a quota. Nobody's going to buy from you just because you think your product is great. They're going to buy from you based on the fact that they come to an understanding that what you have to offer is going to make their life better in some way, shape, or form. And so when we're doing the sales part of our jobs to attract, we need to fill in the blank, and this is going to benefit you because, and paint the picture of what that outcome is so that they can buy into what it is you have, because they know it's going to improve their life or their work or something better by having the product or service that you provide. So that what's in it for me, what's in it for them radio station, if we tune into that as we're writing or as we're preparing or as we're talking to potential clients and participants, that's the way I recommend to do it.
Let me follow up with that with you, Peg. You said something about, we need to explain to them what's in it for them. How do we know what's in it for them if we're coming from our perspective? What's one way that we can find out what's in it for them?
Well, listening is such a key factor in conversation. We need to listen, not to respond, but listen to understand what they're saying. So that's the way we're going to understand their pain points and know if what we have to offer is going to solve their problem, fix their pain, do that. And so I always like to say 2 ears and 1 mouth, use them proportionately. And ask the questions that are going to get them to talk more, tell us about what their challenges are. And if we have something in our purview that can help remedy that challenge for them, then we bring it up, but not in a forceful way, just painting the picture of, have you ever thought of XYZ? This may be the perfect thing for you because this is how it's going to help you achieve that. So 2 ears and 1 mouth is always a great answer to that.
Yes, thank you for that. And one way that I think that we often fall down, maybe as women entrepreneurs, is another way to do that is to ask the existing people who've done it, right? The existing people. Kathryn read a great testimonial that someone wrote for her new website. How many of us remember to ask other people, other clients, why they liked, what did you do right? What were the results they got? Because right there, you've got somebody else talking for you. And other people, I think, are sometimes other people do, I think, give more credibility to that, or at least, well, that's another opinion there, and I can resonate with that person. So let's put that in our toolbox as well, to remind ourselves to ask for testimonials, ask for referrals. That's another thing that we don't do as well, I don't think. Yes. So Mary, I'm going to let you add on anything you want to that conversation.
What I emphasize is that we are the first reader of what we're putting out there. And we have to be authentic in our passion of how we are helping who is out there, that we have identified as this is the who that I'm talking to. And remember that if we're not moved by what we're putting out there, then why would anybody else be moved by it? To think about, okay, I'm passionate about you knowing your story. And it's not that everybody has been keeping a journal since they were 11, so that they have this affinity with me that they're going to know that they can have a conversation on paper and it's going to make a difference in their life. But we all have a passion for something that when we identify it and we are able to use that passion in our business and how we show up with interactions, that is the key to creating the content that is going to be the motivator. And just the way Kathryn got that great testimonial, there's language in there that we lift and use in whatever way that we are going to be connecting with others. And because we have to remember that talking to who needs us and using the language that they're addressing what they need, so they can feel like she read my mind. She knows exactly what's going on, that I'm not writing because I don't know where to start. I'm not writing because who am I? What do I have to say that anybody else is going to care about? And getting to the core of why they want to do what they do and how they are here to help someone, whether it's in health or wealth or relationships. It's what their special sauce is, and helping highlight that.
Thank you, Mary. And I was reminded when you were talking about something that I learned, just never occurred to me before to really do it consistently, from the amazing Laura DeFranco, is read your stuff out loud. Read it out loud, because if it doesn't sound right to you reading it out loud, it's not going to sound right to people reading it in print.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it goes back to this thing too, featured member presentations, which you three just did here, 5-minute featured member presentations. I don't know that people always practice those out loud before they come on. You know, practice it out loud, see how you feel doing it. Because if you don't feel great doing it, it's not going to land as well with the people seeing and hearing you speak it. So I'm going to jump now back over to Peg. Peg, what is one thing a woman, no, actually, let's do this. I just had this idea. I'm going to do a little quick thing back and forth. I want each of you, I'm going to start with Peg, and then go to Kathryn and Mary, and we're going to go around as many times as we can to just say one or two words of a method of self-promotion. Let's talk about, how do we self-promote? Because I think there's people out there that maybe not even sure that we're talking about what we think we're talking about, right? Self-promotion, there's a lot of ways to do it. So Peg, one way.
Variety.
What was that?
Variety.
Variety. So do a lot of different ways, right? Okay.
Many touches.
Many touches. Kathryn.
Facebook Lives.
Facebook Lives. Mary.
Be consistent with your emailing.
Be consistent with emailing. They hear from us once every 6 months. They're going to remember anything about us, right? Peg.
Network.
Network. Kathryn.
Speak in front of the room. Be the speaker in front of the room.
Be the speaker in front of the room. Yes, Mary.
Get your story out there any way you can.
Get your story out there any way you can. Peg.
Use your support network.
Kathryn.
Personally reach out with an email or a text message or a Facebook message.
Make it more personal than just an email blast. Mary.
Pick up the phone.
Isn't that funny? We had to go down this list of 10 things before pick up the phone. We've stopped doing that. Well, I never liked doing it in the first place. I was really glad when we didn't seem to have to do it so much. But yeah, and I don't know if anybody's going to answer on the other end. They might not, but I'd be so shocked if somebody called me. I think I'd have to pick it up, right? Peg, how about you?
Make introductions, because the more you do that, other people will do it as well.
That's a great one. Thanks. Kathryn, you have another one?
You know what? You can create your own Facebook group where you can self-promote a lot as long as you're doing other things to community connect.
Exactly. Yeah. And a Facebook business page, if you haven't done that, where it's all about self-promotion and content. Got to provide content as well. Mary.
I had a thought and now it's gone.
Well, if it comes back to you, jump in. Okay. Peg, you got another one?
LinkedIn connections, use your second and third degree, not just your first degree connections.
Okay. And Sherry Martin's been sitting there going, when are they going to talk about LinkedIn? Yes. Don't just use your first degree, or get on LinkedIn and try it out, right? That would be a first start for a lot of people. Kathryn.
Right.
Well, any of the social media platforms, you can do self-promotion on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, wherever your people are.
Mary, did it come back or do you have another one?
Ask for testimonials and give them.
Great. Yeah, when somebody asks you for one, unless you really, I mean, I have had a few instances over these 30 some years I've been doing business where somebody asked me for one and I didn't want to write one for different reasons. So, but typically if somebody is still in your circle, they like you and they're hanging out with you and they're going to say yes to it and use it. And when I started this organization, after I got a little bit more comfortable in it, I had to stand up and promote every time at a meeting. I'm at the front of the room. I'm the face of this organization. I got to be really fond of this idea of blatant self-promotion. I mean, let's take the power away from that it's not a negative thing to promote yourself. It depends on how we do it. And we're all talking about heart-centered promotion. We're not talking about shoving our business cards into people's hands or, annoying them and just always talking about, here's what I got, here's what I got, here's what I got. Self-promotion is a nice balance of give and take, of offer it and receive. And so we've got a little bit of time left. I'd like to talk about, to attract clients, you have to show up, you have to be seen and heard, and you have to promote yourself. So what is each of your most effective self-promotion tool and how do you use it? Kathryn, I'm going to go back to you on this one.
Well, I'm not necessarily going to answer exactly that. I want to respond to what you were just saying, which is what I have discovered over the years is that people need to hear about what I do multiple times. I don't have the kind of service or product that's an instant, oh, I need that. Mm-hmm. Typically, that's not the case. So as long as I'm thinking people need to see or hear about it 17 times or more before they're going to say yes, then that helps me be in the right attitude to actually keep showing up like what you're talking about. And in terms of what's been most effective, I'm going to say my networking communities. As long as I keep showing up in them, I build relationships, which one of the group members today, Jacqueline Sasson, was talking about the importance of connection. When we keep showing up, we can build connection. And when that happens, when the person knows me, likes me, and trusts me, which Peg was referring to, I believe it was Bob Burgess, wasn't he the guy who talked about know, like, and trust? Right. When we do that, then when I say, I've got this thing coming up, are you interested? They're going to actually go click the link and look and see if they really are interested, rather than it sounding like someone who I don't know is yabbering at me. So keep showing up.
Thank you. It's what in the old days we called warm connections versus cold calls. Anybody remember those days when people were actually expected to call up strangers or call up people they met for 30 seconds at a networking event and sell them something? It was a very masculine model. which didn't work for most women, I don't think, because we felt like we had to put ourselves in all kind of contortions and really go against some of our own values to do it. So Mary, what's your favorite form of self-promotion?
So I like writing blogs that tell stories that I send to my list on a consistent basis, building up the relationships, offering relevant and inspirational and timely material. And so the people that I meet don't necessarily are in a position and ready to be writing at the same time. They like the information, and when they're ready, they come back, and it might take years, but I'm still here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Don't get discouraged when people don't respond unless they've removed themselves from your email list. They're apparently still interested, especially if you see they're opening your emails. I've had women show up at networking meetings say, I've been following you for years and I finally got here. Well, what if I decided, well, they haven't opened my emails, or they've been on here for 20 years and just deleted them. So yes, so Peg, I want to go to you for the last thing here before we wrap up. And what's your favorite self-promotion tool?
Lately, the past year or so, my favorite tool is podcast guesting. It's a great way to borrow someone else's audience and help them know my audience as well, reciprocate by exposure. But podcast guesting has been a great way this past year to help me promote. So
thank you. Each three touched on some, I think, really important things that a lot of people aren't thinking about necessarily. I hear people say, well, I should start a podcast. Well, why don't you go be on a few first before you start one? Because podcasting, I mean, it's easier to do a YouTube kind of, or something like this on Facebook Live than it is to do a true podcast. That takes a lot of technical and other knowledge. So go be a guest, see if you even like doing it, instead of jumping around thinking, well, everybody's doing that, so I should go do that. Find one great shiny object that works for you and hold on to it. Try it out for some time before you decide it doesn't work. And let me just say this to anybody who's wondering why people aren't listening, but you also, I mean, it's interesting to me how many women I still ask, would you have a list? Well, not yet. How do you sell anything without an email list? And if you don't have an email list, you start today with 1 or 2 people. I'll be on if you're in this group today, I'll be on your email list. So email me, I'll be your first person, or I'll add to it. Email me, I will do that for you. So, but you have to have a consistent way of reaching out to people. And for those of you who have a vibrant, active email list, I hope you, as I have gotten over this yucky feeling when somebody unsubscribes. Because I will tell you, the first couple of years I had an email list before there was even a contact management system. People had to email and say, please take me off your list or remove me from your list. And I made up all kinds of stories. Oh no, I sent too many emails. Why didn't they want it? What did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. And now, it's a click, and you don't have to look at it if you don't want to, but you really should, because sometimes people tell you why. Sometimes it's this content isn't relevant to me anymore. That's not personal at all, is it? But also it tells you, okay, I'm not speaking to those people, because the numbers of your email don't matter if only 5% of the people are opening them up, right? You could do as well with 100 people where you got 80% opens than you could with 5,000 where you got 5% opens. That's my opinion, at least. So I'm going to wrap this up. And if we have time, if people can stick around for 5 or 10 minutes and get some questions, we'll do that. But I do want to stop the Facebook Live. And I want to thank anybody who's watching this to please reach out. We'd love to hear your comments in either here on the Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. If you love self-promotion, if you don't, what are your challenges? What are you good at? And if anyone's watching and wants to visit us for one of these Zoom meetings or an in-person in Tallahassee, Florida, Richmond, Virginia, or Columbia, Maryland, you can put something in the comments, or you can go to our website, which is also in the text of this video. Thanks for watching, everyone.